This is the reading for the Libra male single. So the single Libra male. I do a house of love spread I made up. I have 3 cards that make up the roof. And this I attribute to the meeting of your next partner. So a next significant relationship that comes in. Now, you may be single during the month of February, but your next significant relationship, this is going to highlight that. So the 3 cards tell how you meet, circumstances in which that happens, and then the 4 cards within the house are made up of the relationship once it's in full swing. So give you a little peek into that for the future. So the first card that I get, and I use the Romance Tarot and the Sex and Love Tarot. I'll outline that in the box below. Now, the first card I got is 2 of Coins. And the 2 of Coins in this deck of romance we're talking is about innocence. So you may be single and somewhat I'm getting a feeling of naiveness within the relationships that you've come across. There's a naivety that you carry. The next card I get on the sex side of things is the Hanged Man. So during this single time, right, we're taking a time out from the sex side. So there seems to be a little bit of a dry spell, right? The innocence here, I think, expands on that a bit. Meaning, I get a lightheartedness about it. Like, it's not heavy to you. It's like, okay, I'll take a break. I could use a break. Like, there's an innocence to the way that you're looking at being single at this point. So the next card I get on the romance side is the Ten of Swords. So the Ten of Swords, we have a guy laying down a rose for this woman. Now the woman's sleeping, and I get a sense that he really doesn't want her to wake. He just wants her to wake up to that rose, right? So what I'm symbolizing that to mean is that we have someone here that wants to express feelings, but doesn't either want the person knowing that they have the feelings that they do, meaning, like, you know, say we're in a relationship, we don't really want them to know that we feel as deeply as we do, you know, not revealing the true essence of what you feel for that other person. It's really what I'm getting here. And then the clarification card for that on the sex side of things is the Queen of Cups. So the Queen of Cups is like the opposite of holding back. She just indulges in everything, right? Or lets her partner indulge and is equally of that level, right? Of compassion, love, caring, and kindness. That's really what the Queen of Cups is made out of. Now, there may be, your next partner may be one that you really, really like and really want to go forth with, but you're kind of holding back showing, you know, all your cards. You don't want to show all your cards. You just want to you got a lot of emotions and sexual attraction is there, but you're just kind of like wanting to hold back a little bit and not, you know, come off as being a little cooler than you are normally. Well, not normally, a little cooler than you are on the physical side of things, basically. So the next card I get for the romance side is the Page of Swords. So the Page of Swords is all about the cool as a cucumber dude, but to the point where he really doesn't care. That's what I'm getting for this card. And I'll probably get something different in the next round. But yeah, I'm getting a sense here that either one of the parties here is really trying to play it cool to the point that the other person may not even think they're interested. So they carry on. And I feel like that person might be you. You might be trying to play it cool so good that you end up not being able to snag them, right? Because I have, on the sex side of things, you have the Fool, and the Fool is, he's carrying off in another direction again. With the innocence that we start with, we have no baggage, hey? So that's kind of what I was trying to translate there, but it didn't go so well, is the fact that they may not have, this Libra male may not have a lot of baggage. And that's due to the fact that he may not be 100% all in these relationships, just taking things light, packing light. I'm not going to get hurt, and I'm not going to, take things too seriously. So that's the essence I get with the Page of Swords, is really, one, not communicating properly within the relationship, no matter what it is, of truly where you're coming from, and two, the fact that, it's taking things kind of cool when it comes to this Queen of Cups, to the point that not letting her know and not wanting her to know. So as we move down, see, another thing with the Fool too here, because I feel like that's the end, right? Because we're talking about how we meet this new person. Seems to be a water type sign, or someone with those attributes, right? Kindness, softness, gentleness, compassion, understanding, very emotionally driven. And I feel like the Fool here is going to bring out that adventurous side. So you may come across her and she may bring out that adventurous side in you. But I see that there's not the connection that you want it to be in a physical sense. I feel like you may flirt and go in that direction and do whatever. Really doesn't take off in a physical side. Okay. Now, as we get into the house here, so this is the next relationship. It's interesting. We'll see what happens. The roof is quite interesting. The energy I'm getting, I might have to reroute a few things here. I get the Three of Canes, the Three of Wands, right? And this is about, man, this could be about marriage. This could be about commitment. Could be about moving in. It's taking a step beyond the dating scene or whatever, wherever you're at. If you're just acknowledging someone, then you start to date. If you're dating someone, then you start to, want to make plans for the future. If you make plans for the future, maybe you move in. If you move in, maybe you get married, or get engaged, that kind of thing. It's taking that next step. So in the three here, I feel like there's an urge to want to take a next step with someone. But again, I'm getting the essence of really, whoa, holding back. I don't want to let them know exactly how I feel, because you feel like you're going to lose ground here, okay? So on the sex side of things, I get the Knave of Swords, so that's interesting, because we have someone here, we have that male, and he's just, with his, but he hasn't touched her yet. He hasn't gone through that stage yet, and it makes me feel like, and for some people this may be the case, it makes me feel like you may not get into a sexual relationship with someone until you are committed or married. So that may be one of the situations coming here, or just really having an idealization of this woman in a physical sense, okay? And wanting to respect that, I feel. If that's where you're sitting, where you're looking at this person and going, yeah, I want that, but you're having a high respect of it, and wanting to cherish that in some degree, feeling it from the partner, right? Respect there. So that's a good thing. Now the next card I get, the Ace of Cups. So that's really the abundance of that filling up within you, right? So we're talking about the Libra male here, and we're talking about feelings, and we're talking about deep feelings. So these are feelings, they're starting to erupt, they're starting to overflow. So we may have come from a situation where we never let our feelings get to that point, but nonetheless, we're going past there now. And then to expand on the Ace card, we get the Three of Pentacles, and Three of Pentacles is good sex. It's good, fun, happy sex, the kind that you're running home to get to, from work. You're coming home and it's like, yay, I'm gonna, go and get what makes me happy. And there's no heaviness, there's no darkness to it. It's just all light, good sex. Now, the next card I get in the romantic side is I was going to say the dud card, but I don't want to do that. It's the blank card. I left the Joker in, and in hopes that it'll come out when there are places, because sometimes I get cards that kind of don't fit with the rest of the reading, and I didn't want that anymore. I said, you know what, I'm going to put this in here. I had a friend of mine tell me about this. Put it in there, and that'll come up when there's things that they just can't reveal. And here we go. So there are things within this relationship coming up here that there's need to be secretive about. But I do feel it's on the romance side. So it's on a broader sense of the relationship, not just on the physical side. So there's some things here that they just can't illuminate. And then to go into the bedroom on that, expand on that in the sex side, we have the Emperor. So the Emperor is really about taking charge, right, in the bedroom. So as a Libra male, you may be that in this relationship. You may be taking charge in the bedroom to a degree where they know who's in charge here. I am, you know, like that kind of a thing. So that's going on. Now, the next card I get, and the last romance card in the reading here, is the Knight of Swords. So the Knight of Swords is really about aggression. Okay, and we got the Emperor right behind him. So we got to be careful that we don't drive this one off with too much energy, too much forcefulness. It's interesting. I get a sense here, though it might be from the relationship before, of holding back all those emotions, holding back everything, not wanting the other person to really know or understand how deeply you feel for them. And then, you know, right behind it, I get this opening up of that on both ends. So I feel like either it's, I feel like you're going to get a situation where you're going to feel quite different about this person than your last relationship. The relationship you're moving into is going to make you feel very much where you are passionately, you know, ignited in a sense, physically ignited, and also in admiration of that person for the essence of who they are. So you really are kind of starstruck by this person coming in. It makes me feel like things, you got to watch your aggression here. One, because you got the Emperor down here, and there's some stuff here that they're not even revealing. But the next card I get is also an aggressive card with the Knight of Swords. Now, that is your element. That is the air element. But it also can be to a point where you may not be as soft and compassionately communicating with your partner. And I feel like that's kind of where we're lagging here. We're all in the passion and the bruteness of it, but are we connecting to the softer side of things here? Because I feel like the woman might need that connection on the softer side. I don't think she's necessarily not liking, but is overwhelming to a point where we can get to that stage. Then the last card we get on the sex side is the Five of Swords. And the Five of Swords is moving along aggressively to get what you want. But I sense here that we still have a meeting of minds, because she's grabbing his hair. So there's a bit of, in your partner, you're sensing there's a bit of a balance here in what you're wanting and what you're going after in that aggression way. But be careful of that, because there are some things here that are being hidden, some surprises, okay, that might come out. And I feel like that's from the partner. The partner is going to come forth with something that may give rise to something that needs a little tending to. I don't feel it as a serious, huge thing, but I feel it's something maybe you haven't attended to in other relationships. So therefore you need to think about that. Like the main thing here is we come in with this innocent feel, and it may be that, you know, you come across someone when you're really not expecting it. And then boom, you know, right out of the blue here, when you're really kind of not ready for it, you get all these emotions wrapped up in this emotion. And then you're trying to play it cool. A whole lot of emotions start coming, start brewing up here. And then we get into the physical side of things. And wow, you know, things really start happening. Um, the Libra male starts coming out. It's almost like, you know, it was a little kitten and now he's turned into a lion, you know, and he's going after things that he wants. And the reason he was a kitten is because he was just playing with kittens. Now he's got something that's a little grander, right? This compassionate woman that's come forward, she's got a little more emotion, a little more than the fleet before. You know, we've had people in the past have really matched us for the emotional depth or the emotional, and so now we're evolving, so we're creating that for ourselves outside of ourselves. And that's what's going on, is you're coming across deeper things. Seems to be kind of the theme throughout the whole horoscope, is coming across deeper things than you have in the past. Things that stir you up, things that make you go a little further. And these are there to, I mean, one, to teach you lessons, but two, also to get you closer to who you authentically are. And I think that's part of it. Another thing I was going to say about the Fool card here is that we could be like, because it's like taking off on a new adventure. I'm like, a new relationship? They're like, no. Adventure in the bedroom, adventure in romance, adventure in the life and sex life of this Libra male. You know, we're going to start experimenting and, you know, going in different ways, because one, we're feeling different about it, and two, we know there's more out there than what we've been dipping into, so we want to try that out, and we're going to do that in whatever way we can, you know, blossom that in whatever way we feel we can with our partner. And I feel that is a very good reception here physically, so we need to understand that it's going to be good and grounded. And also emotionally, there's new stuff happening for the Libra male. So it's all good and gravy for Valentine's month. Like I say, this is your next significant relationship, so it may not be right in the month of February, and may linger into March or whatever. So hopefully that happens to you, because it really does seem like a really good, fun, adventurous thing. So that's all good. So for the Libra, sorry, I have to check my notes here. Libra male single. Take care, have fun, be kind.